And really, this is the first time in, I guess, about 7 years that I've been like really serious about someone, and I don't really have any doubts on where it's going or anything like that. But during that dating period, I had, I know I had at least one person say, well, what do you bring to the table? And I was so offended, really. I mean,
with good reason.
Yeah, I was really offended. Like, you obviously don't know me, and it tells me a lot about you, the fact that you asked me that you've had some bad experiences and with people not bringing things to the table that you prefer, and instead of waiting to get to know a person for who they are, you just want to just bring it straight, just straight up. So,
yeah, just very blunt.
Yeah, it was, and it was definitely a lack of people skills. So that's where this topic came to mind. And then I actually work at a dropout recovery school. So between the ages of 16 and 21. So there's mostly boys there. And the boys are often, I feel like I'm in the locker room. So I randomly posted something today. And I don't know if you got a chance to look at some of the comments. Did you get, because you said that you're not as active on Facebook this week or whatever?
Oh, no, I'm typically, people that know me know I'm very active on Facebook. It's just, I told, like I was explaining to you earlier, I'm currently in Facebook jail over a post that I don't remember. I was notified this morning when I got up and I tried to get on Facebook, and I got the pop-up message saying that a post you made or shared violates community rules or community standards or something like that. And I was really trying to brainstorm and try to figure out, okay, what did I share that, could have possibly qualified as a violation. I really couldn't think of anything because I was on Facebook probably at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning yesterday. And then this morning, I'm in Facebook jail. So, but no, to answer your earlier question, I do, every once in a while, we'll watch your videos and I see some of the comments and, see things that people say and some things I agree with, some of the comments I vehemently disagree with, but, it's all good. Social media.
Yeah, I thought what did I say on here? Let me see. For the ladies, I said, give me your top 3 that a man must have besides a car, a house, and a job. Because that, I feel like women are more vocal. And I saw the guys were like looking through the comments and they were like, well, I have all of those things. So what's going on with me? So some people feel like they're bringing everything they need to bring to the table, but they're still single and they don't really understand. So
I mean, a lot of people, it gets to a point where we're at a certain age where saying that you bring a house, a car, and what was the third thing that people said?
No, I just said besides a house,
a car,
because
and a job.
Want women to say that because I think it's from was it TLC? It was some group that had a song that would talk about that, like needing a man to have their own car, their own job, and that kind of.
It gets to a certain point. I'm 40. It gets to a certain point in your life where certain things you feel are automatic or standard, and you shouldn't. You go around bragging that you have a house, a car, a job. It's like you bragging about basic things. So in addition to a house, car, whatever, I think the point of your question that I gleaned from was what are some other extrinsic as well as intrinsic, things that you have going on that you can bring to the table in a committed relationship that could progress one day, hopefully into marriage. And to your point earlier, I do agree because it's come up in my group a couple of times. I do think that just asking someone on a date, someone you don't know, or you barely, you're trying to get to know them. You're trying to get to know them. I think that's a very awkward and kind of rude question. What do you bring to the table? Not that that's not a question that's on a lot of people's minds, men and women, but I've never in my life asked a woman that. I've never asked, hey, what do you bring to the table? My whole point is, if I see you and I talk to you enough times, I'm gonna figure it out on my own, because I believe
Exactly.
I'm going to make observations. I'm going to be observing you when you think I'm not. I'm going to be listening. I'm going to, put pieces together, but I would never just blurt out and ask you, what do you bring to the table? Because I know I'd feel hella
Mm-hmm.
weird if someone asked me that.
Yeah, you would. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I was talking to somebody, it was like a dating site. So I'm like, okay, I see why you're on this dating site, because you don't know how to have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Charles was saying very awkward, exactly, just sit back and observe and
Just
it'll all come out.
observe and listen.
It'll all come out. But this is a question that I had from one of the guys. He was talking about him having all of those things
Mm-hmm.
and still not being able to find the connection he was looking for. And I said, well, what do your exes say? And he said, well, my ex-wife doesn't count because she was on meds. And what did he
She was
say?
on what?
She was on meds.
She was on meds. Okay.
Okay. So
What was she on meds because of him?
I don't know. I don't
See?
know. But he said my ex-wife doesn't count because she was on meds, and then the exes before that, basically, he said that when it's over. He doesn't need any closure.
Mm.
And I just thought, like, okay, there is a reason why the relationship failed, and I feel like it's so important to do a self-reflection. But I am a coach, so of course I think that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I thought, like, from a male's point of view, how do men deal with that kind of thing when it is over? It's over. Since Charles is on here, I did tell him the same story earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, he's kind of with the school of thought that when it's over, I don't need to talk to you. So
Mm-hmm.
how do men process that? Because sometimes you can miss valuable feedback if you were with someone who was mature, because some people are just teen petty. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're with somebody that was really mature, then it's kind of like, shouldn't you reflect upon that relationship and see what it was that you need to develop and what you need to bring to the table in the next relationship? I don't know.
Yeah. Everyone's going to have a different outlook on it, because you are going to have people who believe that after a failed relationship or after a failed marriage, they don't want to have anything to do with their ex. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm indifferent about that. I can understand why, but I can also understand the utility of maintaining a relationship, or at least, I think some of us have had the experience of either breaking up with someone or being broken up with, and they say, well, we can still be friends, or can we still be friends?
Mm-hmm.
But that's not always the case with some people, and a lot of that may depend on exactly why the relationship or marriage ended to begin with. Maybe it ended on good terms, maybe it ended on terms where, I may not want to ever speak to you again, or, I can only speak to you, but I need to go through therapy first because of what you did.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
so every relationship ends differently, because in this genre, when you talk to enough people, particularly people who are divorced, have gone through traumatic breakups, some people went through one of those, it's not you, it's me type of breakups. And some people went through breakups that were caused by infidelity or domestic
Mm-hmm.
violence, or, it could be a myriad of things. So depending on how it ended, that could play a role in whether or not a friendship could still be sustained, or even at base level, even respect. Because, at the end of the day, if it's someone that you feel like this person has done you monumentally wrong, if they've done something horrendous or whatever, you may not, even for your own sake, for your own self-reflection, you may not want to continue to have a relationship with them. You may feel like, okay, for me to figure out some things about myself, maybe I need to ask other people. Maybe I
Mm-hmm.
need to figure it out on my own, or maybe I need to find different or other avenues, try to figure out and get feedback in terms of my quality as a significant other. Was I good, or was I not? Or what are some of the things that, were great about me? What were some of the things that could stand some improvement, so on and so
Mm-hmm.
forth?
Yeah, I definitely agree. It depends on the situation, but my thing with that particular response was, you mean to tell me out of every single ex, you didn't have one person that gave you feedback on what you can improve, and you're not aware of yourself and your strengths, your weak, and your areas of development. So that was like my concern, and I was like, well, I guess Charles mentioned that it was arrogance and prideful, being arrogant, because everybody has areas where they need to improve, but some people just oblivious at times to,
You know, either oblivious or just tone deaf.
not tone deaf.
Or just, you know, may not, or I mean, like you said, maybe a certain arrogance. There are people out here who feel like they're perfect. It's everyone else out here who's messed up. It's everyone else out here who needs, you know, some life coaching, but I'm good. I did everything the right way. I was the one, I'm the victim of their dysfunctional personality, so on and so forth. So that's a different level of delusion. And those are the people that actually need to be on meds and seek counseling. But, you know, at the end of the day, as far as staying in contact with the ex, you know, it's really a case-by-case basis, because some people just flat out don't want to have anything to do with their ex. Some people, it's a sore spot, or they feel like if I have contact with my ex, then certain feelings may resurface, feelings that I want to keep buried. And, you know, what do I look like, you know, falling back in love with someone who broke my heart or did this and third. So there is a reason that, you know, a lot of people just choose to keep the past in the past and keep it buried, especially if they're trying to move forward into something new or move forward with someone they just met. You know, because that can always be a point of contention. If you just meet someone, you just start dating someone, and then you're making contact with the ex. You know, that you don't want that to potentially contaminate something that, you know, something beautiful that hasn't even started yet.
Right. So make no mistakes. I don't believe that you should be friends with the ex. I did this topic last year. I might revisit it this year. But the reason why I brought that up is because he should have received some feedback during the course of that relationship to let him know what his areas of strength and weaknesses were. So that's where I was kind of lost. But when it comes to Facebook, a lot of times I won't write full-length paragraphs. I'd rather just do like a video about it and just kind of talk about it, versus me like really breaking that down, because he just really seemed lost. So the key was knowing yourself, and like you said, you may want to use other people to give you that feedback if you because you might have been ghosted, you know. So you're not always offered the opportunity or the luxury to be able to speak with someone. I've always been offered that opportunity. But I realize that is not the case for many people. I'm not sure what it is about me where I'm always able to, you know, get information and process that information, whether it's journaling, talking to mentors and family and friends or professionals in some cases, to get through that. But I just think it's so important. I was wondering what men did, or if it's any different. Is it the same at the end of a relationship?
Every man, I mean, is going to be, it's a case by case, because you are going to have some men, even after a bad breakup, want to continuously have a relationship with an ex, even if that ex is in a new relationship. And that's where things can become convoluted. That's when it can get kind of tacky at that point, you know, trying to still message your ex and text and all that stuff. And the ex, they moved on. You know, they may not be thinking about you. They have moved on to someone else or something else, or they may be, you know, just in a different place in their life. And so I think that, you know, we all could stand some constructive criticism, you know, from someone that had the opportunity to date us, because you can get, I do agree. I do feel like you can glean a lot of positive and constructive criticism from close friends and close family. However, that's only going to go so far, because they've never actually dated you. You know, someone who's actually dated you and you know, had an opportunity to witness you as a significant other, and, you know, how you operate in a dating scenario, in a relationship, courtship, whatever the case may be. I can understand that feedback would be valuable. You know, it's just, those are just kind of tricky waters. So I would express to anyone, just be careful. and just know what you're getting into and just understand and focus on whatever your outcome is and why you're doing it.
Right. There was a lot to what you said. So I'm not sure. I see a comment that Charles is saying, I don't understand that. Is it narcissism or severe delusion? So I'm not really sure which part you're talking about, but I wanted to acknowledge that comment. I think he might still be talking about what are you like when you talk about what is somebody bringing to the table. And then I would even relate it to the exes that always come back. Like, I know in my case, seems like always the case. Like, I wouldn't say always because that's a stretch, but I would say maybe 6 or 7 out of 10. You know what I mean? They'll come back and they'll circle back around, and it does cause problems because you're sitting there with a new person, and then here comes a text, and I don't even I don't keep the numbers, so I'm over here like, who is this? And trying to figure it out, and then you got to explain it to the person that you're with. So there's not a whole lot. That's what he was talking about. It looks like continuing to pursue an ex after they've moved on. So a lot of times they'll say they're not pursuing, but what about the lurkers? Like, one of my friends, this is something when it comes to guys too, and trying to understand. And this may not be you, but maybe just because you just closer relationships with other guys and being a man. So she tells me that guys always watch her page, her Facebook and her social media. And
definitely happens.
And I don't understand that. I don't watch their page unless I get anxious or something, like just randomly where I just have a moment, but I don't like really keep up with any ex, unless really even my ex-husband, we're cool and everything, but I unfriended him because I just didn't see, I was like, this is a little weird. Like, we were friends for a while on Facebook, and I was like, this is a little strange. So I guess my question is, why would a man lurk or just watch or even comment on your post, especially when they see that you have moved on? Like, why would they do that?
Probably the same reason why anybody would do it in the first place. I don't think it's exclusive to men, but we'll talk about men right now. So I think we need to understand, regardless if it's Facebook, IG, whatever the case may be, everybody that sends you a friend request doesn't mean they're always sending it for the exact same reason you think they are. It's not always to be your friend. For some people, it is a way to digitally stay connected with you. And I made, and I talked about this in my group maybe last month, and this is why I'm very, unlike when I was married, now that I'm in a relationship, I'm very low key as far as putting any details or pictures about the woman I'm dating on Facebook, because you have people on your Facebook page who are just simply orbiting your life to look. It's not that they, some people just want to know when things are going good, when things are going bad, when there's an opportunity to connect with you, when there's an opportunity to contaminate what you got going on. So some people will follow you. I know I've experienced that. I've known people that have admitted, there have been people who admitted that they follow people because they want to know when their relationship is going to be over, so they know when to slide in the DMs. And that's a real thing. You have people that actually do that. It's a way to keep tabs on you. We know when, of course, obviously when you make status messages and whatnot, but when something good is going on in your life, when you've experienced tragedy, death in the family, they're looking for doors to, get their foot in the door, figure out ways. So a lot of times lurking comes with a utility. It's done for a reason for some people. Now, I'm not saying, now, I don't want anybody to believe or think that I'm talking about everyone that sends you a friend request, but there are some people who use it just to keep tabs on you, and so they know they're looking or they're scouting, trying to figure out when is best to resurface again, or who's that chick he dating, or who's this new nigga. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's definitely there's a lot of creeps out there. There's a lot of fuck boys and fuck girls. I don't know if I can curse on here, but I apologize. But, it is, some people use it for nefarious reasons.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you just summed it up. It looks like my girl, she just joined.
Hmm.
Hey, cousin. Um, and she's the one that like tells me this all the time. She's like, yes, they're looking. And for the reason that you just explained, like they're just wanting to see when they could like pop back in there. So it's important
Hmm.
not to overshare information because they're lurking. It's kind of
Yeah,
like ready to pounce type of thing. And I think females could do it too. So I'm not saying that females are
yeah, they're
not.
lurking. They're.
Mm-hmm.
It's no different, when you watch TV or you watch movies and you hear about people, casing a joint or
Mm-hmm.
being on the lookout. You get on you get on Facebook and you change your status. Oh, such and such is divorced now. Or you go from in a relationship to now single. Oh, that's when the floodgates open. That's when you get all
Mm-hmm.
these, how are you or what happened and things like that. People are watching for opportunities like that. People are looking for the opportunities where, okay, for the last 2, 3, 4 years, your profile picture was you and your significant other together. Now we know that your profile picture is just you. That's called
Oh my
opportunity.
goodness. Are you
And
serious? Just based on that?
little
That's
things like that. It,
crazy.
it can be little things like, you can make a status message one day about heartache or heartbreak, and that lets me know, okay, she's going through a breakup, so now is a good time. And I'm saying that, I'm not saying that from personal experience, but I am saying that because I've certainly witnessed that. I've witnessed that with our men and women out there who do that and who
Just
are
watching.
successful at just watching.
Well,
They're watching.
that's what Joy says is temperature takers, because that's what
Hmm.
when I call her and be like, this one said this or this one did this or whatever, she was, and I'm trying to understand because I break down everything, and she's like, no, he's just taking your temperature. Like, don't read too much into that because he's just taking your
Hmm.
temperature. So it was just kind of like, it's kind of frustrating because I'm more of a black and white person. So when I've experienced that, it's kind of like I don't necessarily do stuff like that, like trying to connive and manipulate, and you know what I mean? Like, if it happens, it happens, but it's not because I'm trying to make that happen, if that makes
Hmm.
sense. So it's hard for me to relate to people that do that.
I mean,
But
those people, the people that do that, they are out there.
mm-hmm,
Um, and keep in mind, regardless if their objective is a relationship or if their objective is just simply sex, you have people who are extremely methodical in terms of
mm,
the steps they will take to get in that quote unquote door,
yeah,
and some people have broken it down to a damn science. And
yeah,
so I mean, like I said, from my past experiences, I just know moving forward with social media, and I've explained that to the woman I'm dating now in terms of how much information I put out there regarding us. I mean, you go to my page now, you can't look at my page until I'm in a relationship, and that's deliberate.
mm-hmm,
And because people, you put it on your page who you're dating,
mm-hmm.
you have a link to their page. People can go and click on that page and see
Yeah,
who
they
you're
can do
dating, and
research.
yeah, they can research, they can size that person up. You
Mm-hmm.
know, there's a lot that can come up. So, the biggest thing I would explain to anyone is just say, look, when it comes to your relationship, your marriage, your family, children, the whole nine, just be careful as
Mm-hmm.
far as how much you post on social media, because there are people out there who are trolling. There are people out there who are opportunists. There are people out there who are
Mm-hmm.
just, they're waiting, they're orbiting, looking for an opportunity and just waiting. And some
They
people will
are.
wait you out. Some people will
They
wait months.
are.
Some people will wait years.
Well, I like that you said that because that's what I think she already knew, has lived a long enough life to know. And I know from just watching my mom in relationships, even where now she's in her late 60s, and I've seen people that have just been there, for all
Hmm.
that time. So they may not be like in an actual relationship, obviously, but it's like they go in and out over
Hmm.
a number of years. So people don't really have enough time to self-examine, I guess, as far as what do they actually bring to the table, because you've got these people, jumping on it as soon as they can. And I think sometimes it can make your head spin a little bit.
It can. I mean, quick fact about me and my relationship, I've been with, my lady for over a year, and she admitted that
Mm-hmm.
when she saw my information on my page change after my marriage, that's what prompted her to send me messages. So that's why I
Okay.
can speak to it. I'm like, okay, some people will watch and
And
just
wait.
establish. They'll watch, they'll wait, they'll establish a beachhead, and they'll just sit there and wait. It doesn't mean that they're not going on with their own lives and,
Mm-hmm.
dating, so on and so forth. But there are people who will definitely pay attention when your relationship status changes from, married to single, and, relationship to single. Oh, people get notifications. Um,
Yeah, I
and
noticed
people
people
will
are
come and
like
run it.
celebrating that. Like,
Hmm.
I'm like, I didn't want to even, I didn't want mine to say single because it is kind of annoying to have to field all of those. But then I didn't want to like publicize in a relationship and you congratulate me like I am just getting married or something. I'm like, no, like that's when you get the
Hmm.
congratulations because you made a lifetime commitment, but not
Hmm.
just. But I noticed like people really get into that on Facebook, so
Oh yeah.
it's really
And,
interesting.
it's very interesting, and always keep in mind, even though I'm not opposed, I'm not averse to people having friends of the opposite sex. Just understand when you have friends of the opposite sex, just understand and really keep in mind, like, is this person really a friend
Hmm.
or just waiting?
Just waiting, and
And
some people
they're
are
just
really in
waiting.
there waiting. I
Oh
think
yeah.
I think when you're in that waiting phase, it's really important to figure out what you want. And
Hmm.
I am the whole point of this podcast is because I do plan on writing a book, and I'm using this as like brainstorming a little bit. So I
Hmm.
know what I struggled with is figuring out what I did want be above the car, the job, and a house. You know what I mean? I was like, well, what else was it that I wanted? And for me, it was like character. And I didn't realize how important the whole swag thing was for me, but it was like super important. The swag, the
Hmm.
personality, and the dress, like all, I just want that all encompasses swag for me.
Hmm.
And I didn't realize how important character was until I got played so many times where I was like, okay, I
Character
need,
is very important.
it's
It
extremely
doesn't
important.
matter. It doesn't matter. Okay, you say you have a house, doesn't matter how big it is. You have a car,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter. It's a 2021, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. If you have shitty character, then who's going to want to stay with you?
Yeah.
It becomes to the point where your character is so lame, the tangible, these luxuries, the opulence, is no longer worth it. It's like
No,
I have to put up with this in order to enjoy the surrounding and the lifestyle and everything. Like sometimes it's
hmm
not worth it.
it's
Sometimes
not.
it can become more toxic.
And I think another thing for me, it was like the same value system. So it wasn't just the character, but it also was the same value system that I needed them to bring that to the table. Being like treating like the golden rule type thing. So,
Hmm.
for example, I had a lot of problems with people saying, "Well, I work. I have a very demanding job, and I have children. I have this and I have that. So therefore, I don't have the luxury of time, basically."
Hmm.
And I'm like, that's BS because I've always done way more than they were doing at the time. So I was like, okay, so how am I over here with children in
Hmm.
school? Like, not currently, but back then it was like I was in children, in school, working, and I'm always doing something on the side as far as a business is concerned, and I might have two jobs at the time.
Hmm.
So it's like, but you're telling me that you don't have time, but all you have your children and you're working and everything, but you don't even have this other stuff that I have going on. So it was just, I was like, okay, I need somebody with the same value system because they obviously are not, we're not on the same page.
Not on the same page. I mean, not to say that there aren't people out there who lead very demanding lives because of the
Mm-hmm.
jobs or whatever. My older sister told me a long time ago, when someone wants to be with you, they'll move heaven and earth to make it
Mm-hmm.
happen. So I was always raised with the mentality that saying, I'm busy or I don't have time, my brain automatically interprets that as, well, that's a BS excuse. You just don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
and that's fine. You know, I can understand that when there are things in life that I really want, or when there have been women that I really wanted to see. Trust me, if that means I have to wake up extra early or go to bed, later than normal, I will figure out a way to do it. If you mean that much to me, and I actually want to see you, trust me, I will find a way. But if I don't like you that much, I always have an excuse. I have a different excuse every day of the week.
You know, what was confusing to me is like, why talk to me every day? Like, it's like you're on my line tying me up to where, I can't do the stuff I want to do, but you can't figure out how to actually get to me. So it was like in some cases, I feel like I knew the people. They were at work, like they were talking to me at work. So I don't know if it was just me personally just feeling just impatient with the way they wanted to do things, because I don't have a lot of that. But I was like, even if you're talking to me at work and you're making time to talk to me, I think I was more like, if you don't move the way I move, then I can't.
It doesn't necessarily make the person a bad person. It doesn't necessarily mean they're of low quality or poor character. Just some people's lives are just not in alignment. They're just some people's lives, your life and my life just may not match in terms of your obligations, my obligations, when you're free, when I'm free.
Yes.
I still feel I'm going to always fully believe that if I like you enough, I will figure out a way eventually. But we also have to keep in mind, your schedule, it may not line up with my schedule or the things I have to do or things like that. So I try to be cognizant of that. And those are the things that, a lot of us, if you date enough people, you're going to encounter that. You're going to encounter people who they're always busy, on the weekends, on Sunday, early in the morning, late at night, whatever they may be like, you always busy. So it gets to a point where, you know what? I'm not mad at you. It just means that I'm looking for something that you can't provide right now. And a lot of that includes quality time, because if you and I are just starting out, we're just meeting, we're trying to date, we can't build, we can't bond, we can't grow closer if we never spend time with each other.
Exactly. And I feel like that was such common sense. So like what Sasha was saying, make time for what you want. And
exactly.
That really is the bottom line. But it took me to have to do like self-reflection and knowing who I was and what I needed for me to come to that conclusion. And I'm like looking through what some of the comments, what people said on social media, and a lot of it was basically the same stuff that I'm talking about. Some people did say ambition. They wanted ambition brought to the table. I feel like if you got a character, then that kind of encompasses so many different things. Spirituality was a big one for me too. And I think that's kind of where Charles won out with the spiritual piece, because he was like so spiritual and could lead in that area. But a lot of people really, they said that they were spiritual, but they didn't really live that kind of a life. But
of course not. Of course not.
You said of course.
I live in Atlanta. There's a church or a mega church in every corner, but also behind every church is a strip club. So you have a lot of people. I mean, it's common to hear people say, "Well, I'm not really religious. I'm spiritual."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Right. It's like, okay, your lifestyle, the things you do, and the issue you're always getting into, the things you always post, all this stuff, don't exactly align with someone who is on a spiritual journey or in a spiritual, self-reflection and improvement. But do you? It's okay. It's just, It may not be okay. It may not be okay for what I'm looking for, but who am I to judge? You do you.
Right. And I think that's what I didn't code. I didn't code that very well when they're like, well, I'm spiritual, that just is code for I do me. You know what I mean? So it just took me a while to just kind of accept that was such a big part of me, and that I could not do a long-term relationship with somebody that wasn't that. I'm looking for the post with the guy. Okay, this is what I said for the guys. And then we'll see if we can get through the rest, because it's 9:15. So I said, this is what my student actually said, the top 5 of what he looks for in a young lady. So I wanted to see if the older people are going to be the same way. So
Okay.
he said that she got to know how to cook and clean. She's got to be attractive. She's got to have a good personality. She's got to be spiritual, and she's got to have a career. And then what did the guys say? Because there was a lot of comments. I'm trying to see if I can get them. I really can't. Yep, it's not opening for me. So was that about the same for like as you get older, or
things change? I mean, you can understand. I can see how what a 21-year-old looks for versus what a 40-year-old looks for it may differ slightly. So, FYI, I apologize if you hear my dog barking in the background. Just putting it out there. And so what I look for, or what I would look for now at my age, it's not the same as what I looked for 20 years ago. It's just not. You know, I'm a different person. I've grown. I've had certain experiences in life. And so the things that I placed so much priority on, 20 years ago is like, it gets to a point like, it's not a big deal now.
Like the fat booty, I saw that in the comments. My comments open. So
I'm not a butt man anyway, so it's all good. No, I'm not a butt guy.
What did I see? Somebody said mental and emotional support.
Yeah.
And femininity. That was a different one. Because I didn't get a chance to comment with all these because these were really fun. Guys are saying character too.
Character is important. Characters should be at the top of the list.
I was curious about character though, like how important it was if guys are really looking for character, because it seems like guys are really stuck on physical. No shade, but they're like, what does she look like? Is she bad and all this?
Well, I mean, and that's the difference, and that goes back to what I was saying as far as what I looked for 20 years ago. 20 years ago, if she bad, then that's at the top of the list. It means if she's bad, I may tolerate more from her than I would from someone who is average looking. So you have men who feel like if the woman's bad enough, then everything else will just fall in place. Or if she looks good enough, then I could just learn to accept, certain dysfunction, whatever the case may be. But I'm not on that program anymore. So yeah, obviously you want to be physically attracted to someone on some level, but there are things that, in my opinion, are just much more important and carry more weight and gravity. Because at the end of the day, someone can look good this year, then next year, not so much, either because of age, because of health, because of an accident, because of whatever the case may be. They were bad in 2018, but in 2020, it's like, not so much. So a part of that, even with character, it comes into, with something like that in a committed relationship or a marriage, are you dealing with someone whose character is, they're going to stick around when you're looking good, the weave is looking nice, the makeup is on point, your body's dope, but as soon as that falls off, either because of illness or pregnancy or whatever, they're looking for the back door, or they're on to someone else. I mean, you have people who they're with you as a stepping stone until they find somebody else. But in the meantime, until they find who they really want, you'll do.
Yeah, and I think a lot of older people do that, and Sam says very true. And that I think that you summarized that perfectly. But I definitely, I think I did want to know this, and I'm trying to move it on. But I did want to know how important career and money was to men, because women seem to be all about the bag, and I'm like, well, what guys, when they're saying, what do you bring to the table? And the women are responding, well, I am the table. And then guys are getting frustrated with that response. I'm like, what is the real deal about how you guys feel about finances in women?
Well, finances are extremely important because, number one, how often do we hear that money is the number one cause for divorce? So I don't care about all that other stuff. If you're poor at finances, if you get a check for $2,000 this week and you spend it over the weekend, and you still got bills and debt, student loans, all that stuff, that lets me know I don't care how pretty you are, how big your boobs are, how nice your body looks. You're terrible with money. So the last thing I want to do is put my money in your hands or give you access to my money,
Oh,
because
okay.
some people are terrible at saving money. Some people, squander their money. And so finances can be very important in terms of what you do with it.
Mm-hmm.
You make great money, but you don't save, you don't invest. You spend money like, you're Drake, like there's no tomorrow. It's like, okay, are you saving anything?
Yeah.
You got all these, I come to your house, I see all these Sally Mae envelopes and all this other credit card stuff that's piling up. Are you putting it aside? Are you
Mm-hmm.
taking care of things? Are you taking responsibility for, your debt and
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be? So yes, absolutely. I would be the type of person, I'm going to look at your finances. I'm going to look at, you may talk about, how you're in a financial bind, you need money for this or you don't have money for
Mm-hmm.
that. But when I'm over your house, you got, a closet full of red bottoms and expensive bags. And,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I live in Atlanta. I mean, a lot of things here in Atlanta are about status, about appearance.
Yeah.
You barely have two nickels to rub together, but you got to have that S-Class Mercedes, at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So financial irresponsibility is way up there in terms of turnoff. That lets me know, okay, I don't want to hitch my wagon to someone like yourself
Mm-hmm.
um, who doesn't know the value of money. At the end of the day, it's
Okay.
like that's not a long-term relationship. We can be friends. We can be friends.
Mm-hmm.
That means we just have that friendship, but I'm not connecting with you on anything deeper than that.
Okay. So it's not so much how much money she has or what type of career that she has. It's more about being financially responsible, like being
Absolutely.
okay. Okay.
Because
That was
I'm
helpful.
not the type of person. I'm not going to ask you your salary. I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate. I'm like, do you have a job? Are you
Mm-hmm.
working? Are you ambitious? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't. If you're making, 30 grand a year or 300, I'm not going to ask you that. That's at the end of the day, I'm like, it's not my business.
Yeah.
Um, I just want to see how you operate as. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, man, woman, whatever the case may be, how you operate as an adult.
Yes.
So,
So are you responsible? So men
absolutely.
say they really do when they're talking about careers, because I'm like, I know that you don't really have the intention of being her bag. So what was it? So that helped to clarify a lot of where you don't want
Hmm.
to attach yourself to somebody that's going to try to suck you dry because she doesn't really know how to manage money. So therefore she's going to try to mismanage yours too. So that makes sense.
I'm not. I wouldn't give a person like that the opportunity, but
Yeah,
um,
they'll try it though.
of course they're gonna try it, but you hear people say money is one of the top reasons for divorce, and I've always
Hmm.
wanted to qualify that. Like, yeah, okay, money issues can't come up in a marriage or relationship either because of a car wreck or medical expenses. You can fall on hard times.
Hmm.
When I think of money being a number one reason, like we're going through so much financial hardship right now, and it's your fault because of your
Hmm.
spending or because of your lack of savings or not disclosing. You didn't disclose to me how much debt you were actually in. Find out to
Yeah.
af- find out to after I say I do. Then all this. Oh, by the way, I got this other credit card bill that's
insane.
15,000 or whatever, insane,
Yeah.
whatever. And so when we're grown, when we're older, and we're still eating ramen noodles, we're still having to cut back, we're still having to share the salad bar, and I'm looking at it like we're
Not
doing
share
this
the
because of
salad.
you. If we're
Right.
doing this,
So
if
be
we're sharing the
frustrated.
salad bar at Ruby Tuesdays, and the entire time I'm eating, if I'm thinking to myself, it's because of your ass we here, then yeah, we're gonna have a problem. There's gonna be an argument on the car ride home.
Big
So
problems.
big
So
problem.
so ultimately, if you are single, when it comes this topic in general, I believe you just have to level up in every way. So
Hmm.
if you there was so many things that people listed, so I almost made a list of the things, and I still might do that for writing the books or whatever. But I'm thinking ultimately you can find some area where you can level up. So whether it's your spirituality, for me that's so important. So whether it's your spirituality and character are kind of connected. Even if it's your look, whatever it is, like figure out a way to level up. So I was going to ask you what your biggest love lesson is, because it was for me. It is being the person that I wanted to be with. Like, so for me, I was working on becoming better so that I would then feel worthy to be with the type of man that I wanted to be with, and not feeling like, okay, well, he's too good for me, because I know that that's what I am too. So I'm not feeling like I can walk in full confidence because he is definitely not better than me. In any, I'm not saying that it's, you know, a competition, but it was just like a confidence thing that I had to personally go through. So that was one of my biggest love lessons.
I got you.
Was leveling up. What about you?
You know, I've lived here in Atlanta since '97, so I've been here for a long time. I'm very hesitant when it comes to, you know, thinking, well, this person is not on your league, not at your league, or better, whatever the case may be, because you have a lot of people that feel like, okay, once they hit that high mark in their career, they're making this money or they're driving this. Now I'm better than you.
Yeah,
now I'm here, you're here, so we shouldn't be talking. And really, you're just basing that on your material possession. You're basing it on the fact that, okay, you just got a new job last week. You're making X amount of money. Now you think you're too good to converse with this person, or you can't talk with this person. And it's really just based on just material things, not even your character, not even the fact that, yeah, you have these things, but you still may not be on a higher level, whatever the case may be, because you still have a shitty character. You know, you just have you're still a shit person. You're just a shit person that has more money at your disposal, to do shit things. I guess I had to realize within myself, I didn't know what kind of woman I wanted until I had to figure out myself first. So I had within myself spending enough time being single and doing a lot of self-reflection and coming to terms with some very hard questions and, you know, certain revelations. Once I got to that point, I realized, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is the type of partner I want to have. This is the type of woman who I want to make future plans with. I want to introduce to my family, my close friends, so on and so forth. Because not everybody that comes in your life, you want to give them that much access. You don't want to be that intimate. When I say intimate, I'm not just talking about sex, but just with anything. So certain people shouldn't get that privilege. And so with me, I had to realize within myself, okay, once I figured out exactly who I was, then I knew I could chart a path like, okay, this is where I'm going. This is where I want to go in life. How do I find the partner that will complement that and we can build together? So there's certain, and it's going to differ from man to man. Some men are very much old school, very traditional. I'm not, I could be described as a lot of things. I'm not very much old school, or most people wouldn't agree that I'm traditional, because I'm very much, I believe in customizing your life. If you want to customize it with some old school versus some new school, you can do that. I believe that the time that we all have left here above ground, you need to have your hands on the wheel and not, you know, don't let anybody else with their beliefs, with their thoughts, with their ideologies, put their hands on your wheel in your car. So for me, there are certain intrinsic things that I look for, certain character traits, you know, money, you know, your financial responsibility is a big thing that I look for. It may sound silly, but, you know, a top thing that I look for in a woman is sense of humor, because that's very important to me. I don't care, you know, I see pretty faces every day, a lot of beautiful women in Atlanta, but if you have a stick up your butt all the time or you're too serious, this is not going to go anywhere. It's just not. I'm a goofy person. I have to be serious at work, but when I'm not at work, I want to be silly. I want to, you know, I love to make my woman laugh, because life is too short. You know, it's too much. You know, you watch too much CNN and too much social media, make you stressed out, make you depressed, all the bad things happening. So I love a woman that we can be grown and all that stuff. When we go out, we can act like little kids and just, you know, treat the world like our playground. But in terms of, you know, character is important, because, you know, when you're talking about marriage, I don't have children. All I have is a dog. But in terms of children, I would look for a woman, you know, if we were to have a child one day, one of the things I look at is if I get with you, you're attractive woman, you got all your ducks in a row and all that stuff. If we have a daughter, how would I feel if my daughter turned out to be just like you? And if I'm not feeling that, then trust me, you're going to get unfriended. This ain't going to work.
Yeah.
Because, if you get with someone, you have children, you as the woman, you're going to be that child's first example of a woman. The very first example. We have a son. I'm going to be that first example of what a man is. And if you're not the type of woman that I would want a daughter of mine to grow up to be or emulate, then yeah, maybe at most we could just be friends. I see you out the street, I see you at Lennox Mall, whatever, and that's about it. But nothing more. So nothing more than that. So every man is going to have something different. So it just depends on that man, where he is in life, his experiences, and where they see themselves in the future.
Okay, so I could go on and on. I'm hoping that I didn't go past the time that I meant to, but I do want you to shout out your podcast, or where people can find you, or if you have anything going on before we wrap it up. Okay.
So I got maybe 6-7 hours left in this Facebook jail. If y'all want to put anything on my books, come and visit me. I'll be working out, and I got plenty of time to convert to Islam. But I should be out by tomorrow. But you can find me on Facebook. But you can also find me in Ringside, which is our private group. Just type in Ringside or Ringside LLC. It's a private group. Request to join. We'll let you in. We are a community of outspoken, overtop, and opinionated men and women, and we debate issues related to singlehood, marriage, sex, divorce, and family. And the point of it is to glean a better understanding from the opposite sex for healthier dating and more prosperous marriages. You can go on YouTube and type in Ringside, or you can type in Push Radio, and you'll find our podcast. You'll find myself and my co-host, Camellia, and you can just, make sure you watch our video.